You are listening to Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. We are going to jump first into the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. We've been using this a lot in the daily review. Why? Because our ETF closed and there's a new VanEck ETF tracking Bitcoin thanks to the spot Bitcoin ETFs. So as we look at what's going on the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart, of course, we can see where we had the most recent low with peak volume. Then we had average volume on the turnaround, your classic sign of things turning around. Been nice if it was a doji, but we really don't have many dojis. We did all the way back here when Bitcoin was making its last turn around. Again, don't see a lot of dojis in Bitcoin on this weekly chart, but we did see things turn around the week beginning the 29th of January, then up last week, and then booming up this week as we see Bitcoin just a-flying. Now, we look at what's up with Ethereum. Ethereum had those two down weeks. You can see the peak down with the volume, high volume. Then one more week of some scrambling down movement, not a lot of volume there, and then a spinning top turning over and jamming up this week. Just for the day alone, up for 4.92%. Let's look at BITW. That is the Bitwise 10 Crypto Index Fund ETF. What is it? Top 10 cryptocurrencies weighted as per market share, Bitcoin being the big one. And of course, you can see all that volume when things just hammered down in the crypto space. And then one more week of struggling around. And then, of course, and that was average volume. Then average volume as things turned around and going into third week of up movement for the day, 2.35% alone. I was very interested, though, at just how much this ETF jammed down that week. Now, that is the week starting the 16th of January. When you look at what happened let's make sure we got that right. That is the Tuesday, yes, the 16th, because markets were closed. So when you look at where Ethereum was now, you can see, of course, this is the 24-hour-a-day chart. That's what was throwing me off. But you can see that week moving up. And again, this is the 24-hour-a-day chart, remember, for national holiday in the U.S. Markets were closed that Monday. But as we look here on the 15th, you can see where things were moving up. Look at Bitcoin. Now you can see Bitcoin was moving down. And like I said before, Bitcoin is the prime mover. It is the big dog. When Bitcoin coughs, everything else starts to get a cold. What did you see happen that next week? Of course, you saw Ethereum move down, then move down again, and then everything turned around and things started moving up. Now let's go to some commodities. First, we'll go to silver. We had that one spinning top pop-up week where silver tried to move up, died, and then reverted to the mean and has been moving down ever since. Well, I say ever since. We're just going to the second week of that, but that is going on. It was up some for the day, 1.19%, but still below that weekly trend line we see on the 195-minute chart, half day as well as the 2-day. Now look at soybeans. Look at this, food stocks. They peaked back in November, end of November, and man, have they been going down ever since. What's that telling you about the world? About perhaps demand on soybeans. Remember, a lot of animals, people do eat soybeans too. What do we see with nat gas, natural gas? Look at it. We're in the winter time, but natural gas just continuing to move down, down, down. Today alone, down 4.06%. Look at oil, the U.S. oil fund. It is down for the day 1.51%. It popped up back in a week beginning the 22nd of January, then a spinning top the 29th of January. Then last week, the 5th of February, we had a doji. And then this week, moving up, although pulling back for the day. So again, we'll keep our eye on fuel there. And as we look at the U.S. gasoline fund, let's just pull that up. You can see again where it had a doji back on the 29th. Last week struggling along, but this week popping up. However, for the day down 3.06%. So we'll pay attention as to where all of this goes. So those are the commodities just wanted you to look at. I will tell you that when it comes to wheat and corn, those things also you can see are just moving down, just like soybeans. So that is indeed interesting. Lastly, we'll go to our world currencies. What do we see going on with the British pound? Well, you know, the British pound sideways for quite a while, but really in earnest moved down last week. Not as much this week, down for the day 0.08%. But look at all that volume, that spinning top, and then the pound decided to head down. We look at the euro. It has just been consistently moving down since it peaked at the end of the year. And in fact, also notice this where the British pound was at the end of the year. It popped up too, been sliding sideways since then, as opposed to the euro that's been going down the whole time. And look at that, $99.07. Now, let's look at where the Japanese yen is. Again, it popped up at the end of the year and just been hammering down since then. Lastly, we'll take a look at the Australian dollar. It's been doing the same thing. Most of these world currencies popped up at the end of the year and then have blown it all off since then. That is where we are with charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies. I hope that you are using this information on at least a weekly basis to find interesting things to trade, to see what's going on in world markets, whether it's world currencies, whether it is something like a commodity that you might be interested in, and using that to help you see the broader indicators they might show you as to where the world economy is going, certain economies around the world are going, and what's happening with those inputs like commodities that go into different business sectors. Use that information, glean what you can from it, see what it tells you, and always be thinking. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.